So in the previous video we set up our sequence, finalized our sequence by comparing the counter and using by adding this OR keyword and putting counter 1 in here. We have said if the counter 1 value becomes active, then we should turn off the runox, which will stop the system, and if it also becomes active, we also want to extend to go false, so the system returns to its starting place. So we're now ready to build a simple visualization to test the system. So go to the third tab along, Visualizations, right click, add an object, call it what you want. I'm calling mine vis1, again don't use any spaces. And earlier I created a little bitmap of this set of components so that I can very quickly create my visualization. So I'm going to insert a bitmap, draw it as a box here, and pull it in. So you can do the same if you want. So I've got an idea of what the system looks like. So I've got to add my buttons, my sensors, switches, buttons, and so on to make the visualization work. So I'll need a start button, and as we've done in previous videos, set up the buttons, as so, and we need a stop button. There are momentary switches to start and stop, so I'm using a top variable. I also need a button to act as a 0. And in this case it'll be a toggle style. And I will also need a button to act as A1. Toggle style again, F2. So those are the buttons and switches, and I need to represent my solenoid. So in this area here, I'll create the extend solenoid, and I want it to change color in its normal state. I want it to be grey, and whenever it becomes active, let's say we'll turn it orange. And we'll have to tell this object when to change, so go to variables, change color whenever extend becomes active. And I also want to set up a little area so that I can see elapsed counts. You can remember from the previous video, if I type actual count and then hold down Control and hit enter, it'll take me down to the next line, and %s, a little bit of programming code, which will mean that the value appears, the actual count value appears if we connect text display to the CV value within counter 1. Count value. And we will do the same for the timer. Actual time, Control enter, %s, and we'll in our text display area, hit F2 and find our timer, timer 1, expand and take the elapsed time ET value. Now that is the visualization built very quickly, very simple. And so if I build the project, I hope you've been saving as you go so that you don't lose anything. Go online, make sure my simulation mode is active, and then online login and online run. The first thing to make a point of doing is A0 is active in its normal position. So A0, I'll turn it on, and if I press start, the system will start to move out because A extend came on. So that switch will go off and eventually this switch will come on. And I'm not getting the values that I need from the actual timer or the actual counter. Now they're working because time elapsed and the extend went off, but I never saw the actual count value, so I'm going to log out and check why that is. Double click, and it's likely to be a little piece of syntax where this should be a lowercase s. Let's online check my simulation mode is active, log in, and you can see it was to do with the capital letter in the S value, so make sure that yours is a lowercase s. So again, the system returned, so A0 became active. We need to be in run, of course. A extend comes on, cylinder will start moving, that switch will go off, this switch will go on, you can see our time elapse. A extend goes off and the counter moved up by 1, so that'll mean the cylinder will start to retract. When it starts to retract, A1 will become inactive and then A0 will become active. And we didn't get what we expected. A extend should have come back on. So at this stage we've got to go and check the program to see where, this is the advantage of structured text, we can go to the sequence, have a look and see. So it says the next step will be 30. So if we go and find 30, so here is the problem. In my program I said next should be 30, but I never identified the case 30. So if I online log out and change my program to add the value 30, and then go to project and build, 0 errors, 0 warnings, go online, check the simulation mode is on, yeah, and log in, and then online and run. Go back to my visualization, I'll test the system again. So A0 is active in its start position. Start is pressed, A extend comes on, A0 will become inactive and A1 will become active. The timer will start counting. Time elapses, counter goes up by 1. A extend goes off, so the cylinder will retract again. A1 will become inactive, A1 will become active, and now we're seeing the A extend is moving out again. This will become inactive and A1 will become active. Timer starts again. And the cycle is working correctly at this point. A1 will become inactive and the extend comes on to send the cylinder back out. Reaches A1, time starts, counter has gone to 3, and this should be the last cycle. So actual count has reached 4, so we should not move back out again. So A1 will become inactive, A0 becomes active, and it stopped when it should have stopped. Extend did not come back on. So if I press start again, the cycle starts again, the counter went back to 0, the timer is sitting at 0. The timer has started working again, okay? And again, everything looks like it's working. So we've reached 4, and if it works correctly, we'll return to A0, and the system didn't start. So our system is working fine. The only other thing we'll have to test is, does the stop button work? So if the stop button is pressed, does the cycle return? Does A extend go off? And does the count work? So press start, A goes out, A extend, so we get to this point. If we press stop, the system does work where it is returned, but our timer has kept going. So our system will work. I would tidy it up slightly by also resetting the timer one input with our stop button and our counter. So if I go online and log out and go back to the first tab and go into start stop, in here I would set timer one input false. So that's our first structured text program tested and working fine. I'm just going to project build, make sure I have no errors and warnings. So come back to the next video and I'll actually build the system linked to the hardware, and we can see it working in the real world.